What does it take to push the boundaries of medtech and support the critical related industries around it? The answer lies in sensor measurement technology. And today, I will show you how our passion drives product innovation, and these unique products can be utilized in numerous medtech supporting applications. My name is Richard Walker. I am the Technical Director at FUTech Advanced Sensor Technology. Thank you for joining this webinar. I've been with the organization since 1996 and have worked on the engineering, manufacturing, and application side in some of the most demanding projects. I'm excited to share our insights with you and welcome questions to follow up on. But first, let's talk about who we are. This is FUTech at a glance. FUTech is a manufacturer that specializes in advanced sensor solutions. We have over 3 decades of experience in the force and torque sensor marketplace, honing our expertise to make highly acclaimed products that are at the forefront of sensor technology. With our headquarters and manufacturing facilities located in the high-tech area of Irvine, sunny Southern California, all FUTech products are designed and manufactured under one roof. This means that we have complete control of our manufacturing, which allows us to apply unparalleled quality standards, which not only meet but exceed the stringent ISO certification requirements you see presented above. Having an ecosystem of multidisciplinary engineering teams, a high-precision machining center, state-of-the-art quality assurance systems, and R&D and manufacturing facilities all under one location creates the ultimate collaborative platform. We're fortunate enough to be able to rapidly develop and prototype cutting-edge products that can go from R&D phase right into high-volume production in a highly accelerated, fully controlled release cycle. Our exponential growth in recent years has allowed us to start 2021 by expanding our manufacturing capabilities with a new facility that quadruples our manufacturing floor space and will be ready for full manufacturing at the end of 2021. We have taken best-of-class manufacturing process flows, automation, operator ergonomics, and safety as our top priorities while designing the facility. We're extremely excited to share the grand opening with our customers and suppliers in the near future. Let's take a look at our mindset and track record has allowed us to support some of the most important scientific achievements of our times, from subsea exploration to investigating signs of life on Mars with the NASA's Curiosity rover. FUTech developed 2 unique sensors for this project, allowing for high precision control of the movement and force of the rover's robotic arm during drilling into the planet's surface and samples retrieval process for analysis. It is important to note that almost a decade later, both of these sensors are still operational today in this extremely harsh cryogenic environment where failure was not an option. This mentality of failure is not an option percolates throughout the company for all the products that we manufacture. With the recent success and rapid growth of the robotic surgery platforms and related smart tools, these industries heavily rely on sensing products to perform at the highest level possible without a single failure or issue. For our technicians, all the way to our CEO, we understand the importance of our customers' success. This is why we have additionally focused our company on 3 core principles. We must maintain and continue to innovate and stay at the forefront of sensor technology. As our customers' demands and requirements for higher precision, reduced package size, and robustness continue, we have been focusing on these requirements for numerous years. Staying ahead of the emerging requirements, we are able to develop robust products that undergo rigorous qualification requirements before our customers get to integrate them into their systems. FUTech understands that for us to be successful, the customer's project must be successful. Creating a long-term partnership and trust is not taken lightly, and we strive to outperform their expectations. FUTech encourages customers to get involved with us at the infancy level of a product cycle to allow for streamlined, most effective integration and reduce both cost and learning curve. It will certainly be translated into dollars for the customer, and if taken in the opposite direction, sensor design can become expensive really fast given the allocation cost of a highly specialized multidisciplinary engineering team. The chart above depicts this, how allowing our team to be part of your product design cycle can greatly help optimize design, mounting methods, performance, electronic integrations, product delivery, and lastly, cost. Unfortunately, program expenditure increases substantially over time, and the reasons why the opportunity to influence the design and consequently the cost diminishes over this. FUTech's application engineers are closely connected with the design engineers to provide optimal feedback from the start. So again, it's important to get us involved as soon as you can. Having the application engineers connected with our engineering units allows for these specific questions or concerns to be quickly responded to. The special teams are hyper-focused in their areas and provide optimal solutions for the requirements. These multidisciplinary teams you see, however, do not work in isolated silos, but are cohesively working together to provide optimal sensing solutions to the industry. Let's take a look at some of the focused areas. Our force and torque sensors are based on extremely robust bonded foil strain gauge technology. This technology allows us for unique and creative geometries to be instrumented in a short period of time and improves time to market and putting either prototype or production level sensors in the customer's hands for usage. Let's take a look at the underlying technology. Taking our red sensor on top, you can imagine it being fabricated of high-grade aerospace steel, aluminum, or exotic materials, depending on the application. This body acts as a spring, deflecting under a load. A high-quality sensor returns to its original shape after this force is removed. As the sensor body deforms during loading, the strain gauges, acting as resistors, undergo tensile or compressive deformation, causing change in resistance. This results in a change in voltage that's proportional to the physical force applied to the sensor. This voltage is read by differential electronics in a low millivolt level output. These electronics can then precisely amplify the signal to allow for integration to PLC or similar devices, similar to we see in the middle of the screen our IA100, or it can even be pushed out into direct read digital displays. Let's dive into some of our general load cell offerings. The beauty of our offering is the variety of sensor configurations that are available in stock immediate for delivery. Here's just a sneak peek of a few of these options available. Starting from the top left is our inline female style sensors, LSB 302, LSB 200. These both feature double-sided overload protection, allowing for uninterrupted operation even after experiencing extreme overloads up to 1,000%. Next one on the right corner is another popular inline sensor category, which is our inline male threaded LCM series. The LCM line offering includes micro miniature versions, LCM 100, all the way up into our large LCM 500. These can range from grams to thousands of pounds. For applications requiring just compressive forces, using with a low profile solution, we have our load button series, shown in the bottom left-hand corner. These range from the ultra-small LLB 130s all the way up to our large LLB 550s. Again, capacities ranging from the low grams all the way up above 50,000 pounds. And on the right-hand side, we have our through-hole load cells, which allow a bolt or device to be loaded through the center of these parts. Again, ranging from our miniature LTH 300 all the way up to our LTH 500. Within the load cell engineering focus, we have our micro team that has been at the forefront of evolution and miniaturization of the sensor technology. They have reduced the package size by over 5,000% from the traditional LSB 302 you see on the left all the way down to our nano QLA 414 on the far right. This is an impressive feat to achieve a full sensor design smaller than 4 by 4 millimeters. It is this unique focus that is allowing emerging technologies to be developed and utilize such offerings. Similarly, you can see a focused torque team that has been able to create unique products to support today's requirements. We are quite excited to share our micro miniature rotary torque line, and this is one of the smallest footprints you'll find available in the marketplace. Here we have a traditional rotary torque sensor on the left and the micro rotary torque on the right, with a range of 1 Newton meter, extremely small package size. This is allowing integration into extremely small areas where continuous shaft rotation is required. Now let's take a look at some of the reaction torque sensors, which are a little bit different than the rotary torques. Geometry is one factor that is to play with these reaction type torque sensors, and this is a good overview of scenarios that are possible. On the far left, we see a typical reaction torque sensor with a protective cover, integrated overload protection, and connectorized. You can also integrate TEDS recognition kits inside of these. Next to this is an OEM version. Here we remove the protective covering and you can see flex ribbon cables coming out. So this is the idea for your high volume OEM applications. In the middle of the picture, you'll see a custom reaction torque sensor that's even slimmer and smaller, that's utilizing completely different mounting methods. Next to that, we have our micro torque, where we've been able to cut the height significantly. In some ways, you can say that this is a custom off-the-shelf of our very first reaction torque sensor, the first one I've shown you. This is designed primarily to attach to brushless DC motors, which are often used in medtech applications for feedback. The final model on the right is a highly customized unit where you'll notice the wide inner diameter and the unique mounting configurations, low profile design. This is used for harmonic drives, and the flange is made unique for those different harmonic drives. Because of our focused torque team, we were able to bring these unique design requirements into reality. Having the sensor's ability to provide critical feedback is important, but the sensor has to make this connection through an electronic interface. FUTEC realized early on that having full design and development of the mating electronics was just as critical as the sensors itself. If the electronics are not tailored for the sensor output level, provide noise-free performance, and can achieve the necessary bandwidth or sampling rate, then the system will never be optimized. This is where FUTEC set itself apart from others. A focused electronics team to provide optimal integration into the sensor. Here we can see just a few of the products our electronics team focuses on, from our direct digital readouts that provide integration with relays, USB interfaces directly to computers for simple data collection with our Sensit software, or analog output amplifiers that connect directly into our automation PLC systems. With the success of our standard instruments, the team has been able to continue to push the boundaries and supporting board-level daughter board integrations that can provide multiple output variations to support your needs. From basic analog VDC current to digital UART, SPI, IC², our team is extremely focused to provide the highest precision, lowest noise level, and provide cutting-edge features such as low power consumption and fault detection in extremely small package sizes. With knowing that failure is not an option, all of our electronics are manufactured to the highest level IPC 610 Class 3 levels, which meet and exceed the stringent medical requirements. As you see, FUTEC's focus is to provide a complete end-to-end solution. The teams have spent countless hours working together in ensuring the mating of sensors, electronics, and software are as robust as possible. The benefits of providing an end-to-end solution package allows your engineering team to focus on the critical details of the project and not having to worry about merging sensor and electronics together. You don't have to deal with any finger pointing between companies if anything happens. Again, our goal is to make you as successful as possible in your project and program. Now let's dive into some applications where you can see different sensors and electronics in use. Our commitment to innovation has given us a front view of emerging technologies as we frequently collaborate with some of the world's most cutting-edge tech companies. As we touched upon earlier, the rapid growth of surgical robots over the last 2 decades has created a great demand for our sensor technology. This is also true for other groundbreaking technologies such as wearable electronics and advanced automation. FUTEC's forward-thinking mindset has pushed us to develop deep expertise in these areas with an array of sophisticated products that support the work of leading innovators. As we touched upon earlier, emerging technologies where sensing systems are one of the key elements are pushing the miniaturization requirements of their components. The medical industry is a good example of this. Sensor micro-miniaturization is driving the advancement of robotic systems, as it allows designers to start relying on much more accurate force measurements by integrating our direct sensing solutions closer to the surgical interaction zone. To begin our exploration of sensor solutions for medtech, I wanted to start with a very simple example of a robotic arm that is conceptualized on what is often used in surgical procedures. As this technology has evolved, the need to miniaturize and highly customize our products has always been at the center of the conversation. Here we are showing a variety of miniature sensor configurations. For example, our micro torque sensor is used in the robotic joint application, as its measurements and output allow the joint to move smoothly, emulating the precision of a human hand. Working with these kinds of applications has pushed our torque team to reduce the size and provide unique mounting configurations. We can also see in our second example of a direct force measurement with the inline force sensor, a little bit closer to the surgical tool. This is our patented monolithic autoclavable through-hole load cell, which is capable of surviving over 1,000 of harsh steams autoclave sterilization. As we push closer to the forceps, this is where the micro team really starts to come into play, allowing for the small direct inline force measurements to occur just above the patient, and ultimately with the nano, our sensor number 4, the goal is to keep pushing closer to where the measurement is really needed. Ultimately, to make the connection to the main system, or smart electronics utilizing the special daughter board plug-in with high precision, low power draw, and fault detection is a key to allowing the sensor to properly respond and provide critical haptic feedback in the system. In addition to the large capital equipment medical surgical robots we just saw, the tools that have been used for many years and relied heavily on the skills and talent of legacy physicians are also pushing for smart feedback. The picture here is of a handheld endoscope. This tool allows doctors to routinely perform laparoscopic or exploratory surgeries. Using the traditional tool, the doctors had to have a high level of training and would heavily rely on their own sense of touch to control the clamping or movement of critical organs. Having a sensor mounted in line with the guide wires allows for an actual force measurement to help in haptic feedback and control of clamping forces, reducing the training and years of experience. With these smart tools, there is also a concern of sterilization. This is an example of FUTEC's engineering team going over and beyond the requirements and has developed a patented monolithic sensor capable of the thousands of autoclave cycles. The goal was to make sure the sensor was not the limiting factor of how many autoclaves could be performed on the tool. The second application below is taking the traditional drill method, which could be either dental or main medical procedures, and again providing a sense of feedback to the process being performed. The torque feedback into the system can help change motor speed when the drill is seeing a change in material density, which feeds back the torque through the system and back into the reaction sensor. Having miniature torque sensors and the ability to continue to reduce the size and mounting configuration allows a design engineer to be creative in their approaches. Here is an example of how bionic science is becoming a critical part of rehabilitation and allowing individuals to fully function in society. By having force feedback in the needed areas to allow for customized bionic body parts, or allowing for a quicker recovery, being able to mount these miniaturized products directly in the movement path provides real-time feedback to either the electronic systems or can provide feedback to the technicians, determining patient strength has returned back to appropriate levels. The direct threaded inline load cells you see on the right allow the design engineer to optimize his system, as sensor measurement capabilities and package sizes range from grams all the way to 400 plus newtons. For rehab applications, being able to quickly get the data feedback from the sensor to the host computer is critical. So I've pictured here utilizing the USB 220 on the bottom right is just one example of how a complete system can be set up. This application can be used for many different industries, but we see numerous customers use it in critical liquid dispensing. These sensors are connected to an IV-type bag and can precisely measure the weight reduction in the bag and supports delivery either to the patient or can be used for measurement of dispensing different liquids into one general system, such as critical compound blending. Several different designs are shown from our miniature inline load cell. Second picture is a high precision 0.02% performing parallelogram sensor with integrated overload protection. We have number 3, which is a larger version which can handle higher off-axis loads or off-center loads in case there's bag misalignment. All of these sensors can then be connected to a unique device that provides analog to digital output. So one can control the PLC dispensing routine, and the other can be connected to a computer screen and provide live feedback or support, high-level or quality control measurements. Bag sealing is also a critical process that most of us don't even realize. In the medical field, it is extremely critical that the materials inside of the package remain sterile before they are utilized to reduce the potential of infections from occurring. This same sealing method can also be utilized in sealing any material inside that is critical and can also be seen in food consumption areas. The load button is an optimal solution for this application, as it can be mounted inside of the sealing anvil mechanism to ensure proper force is applied during the process. The sensor can then be connected to an analog output amplifier that is attached to your PLC that provides direct feedback if the production line requires adjustment, or in some cases can provide direct pressure adjustment into the system as components begin to wear. A similar approach can also be seen with lid attachment type of assembly line. Here we see 2 different styles of sensors. The top sensor providing direct reaction torque feedback that the lid has been fully tightened into place. The next sensor takes the assembly capability a step further and provides an independent torque and force measurement. In some applications, it is important to know the lid is properly seated before the twisting and sealing action occurs, and this type of product can provide such feedback. One example of electronics that can be utilized is a direct readout display with analog output. The operators watching the production line can get direct engineering readings from the display, while the analog output is fed into the PLC system for direct feedback controls. Now let's transition into an example of medical product testing. Here we're looking at catheter testing where torqueability and trackability is the objective as a catheter travels through its path. Similar to what we occur in a medical procedure. The end user is interested to measure the position as they're feeding the catheter, and they want to know the friction and torqueability at different curves inside this path that the guide wire is traveling. The secondary test is also ensuring that the catheter does not break under these torque testing requirements. Moving away from basic medical product testing, we get to explore some dynamic range of applications. Really, the possibilities are limitless. Because of the ability to adjust geometry and size of reaction-style torque sensors, we're able to integrate these type of sensors into numerous environments. Starting at the left, we have our basic motor and reaction torque sensor that you can control anything with the motor drive and give feedback. Integrate it with one of our amplifiers, you're able to develop a direct feedback system. Next to that, we have the drill head, which we discussed before. And next to that, we have rheometry, which is mainly used to help measure viscosity. Basic applications could be from critical medical compound mixing or any type of mixing of compounds and testing in a QA environment. The last illustration is of a general robot where precision feedback at each joint is needed. The standard method of torque feedback has been to measure the current in the motor. But as more systems require precision measurements, this is where the torque flange designs come into play. This is where having a dedicated torque team can uniquely design that torque sensor to work flawlessly with any of your harmonic drive systems. And our last application is a highly customized sensor. This is what makes FUTech very unique in our capabilities to support custom sensor solutions. When the boundaries of products need to be pushed to address specific unique application requirements, this is a good example of that. A highly customized sensor that needed to be used for blending different critical liquid compounds. With each one of those compound accuracies of 5 milligrams had to be met. This highly optimized sensor and direct integration of the electronics onto the sensor assembly was the only possible way to achieve the customer's tight package requirements and performance goals. Using this example, we can push it out to other applications such as direct compound measurements, medical pill processing, or even high precision bottle filling. With our diverse engineering teams and our cohesive of working together, any of your sensing requirements can be designed and met. As you have now seen, there are endless possibilities for sensing measurement in applications in the medtech or related automation industry. We would love to hear about your next application challenge or any ideas you may have involving your critical measurement needs. Visit us at our virtual booth. I will be available to take your questions. If you can't reach us there, please visit or contact us through our web portal, www.futech.com. Thank you for attending.